Wow, there's so many questions now coming in, actually. But we can also answer or actually have questions over microphone. That's also possible. But for now, I will try to read them. So please settle so we can cover the rest out for today.
Right?
Somebody else take the name? Should we take the first one?
First.
Okay, so he's moving down. Okay, yeah, move up. Okay, the oldest on top. Okay. To Chinese OEMs, what is the reason you chose AutoSAR Adaptive instead of other solutions, such as in-house Linux-based? I think you already tried or using it already. It will be a little bit difficult, but who wants to take it? Because maybe there's also vendors who are supporting Chinese OEMs or have Chinese subsidiaries. Anybody wants to take the question? Or can take the question? Or I have to basically convert it into the room because we have Chinese OEMs sitting here. Okay.
So what a friend and former colleague of me told me when he switched to another company, that he was a little bit scared how he could help the industry on develop automotive issues. And at the end, the fun part was he was so glad that AutoSAR exists, because with AutoSAR you have a common language where you can have technical discussions. So if someone mentions, I have some issues with the RTE, or even if you start to draw a picture, the first thing I always tell my colleagues is draw this red square, right, RTE, and everyone knows who is into AutoSAR what we are talking when it comes to architecture, right? And so this helped for him as supporting OEMs around about the world, also in Korea, to have a common base where you can start a technical discussion. And this wouldn't have been possible with, let's say, OEM-specific architectures or solutions, because then you are, of course, much slower, and it's much more effort to understand a different architecture.
Maybe I can give an answer by probably, it's just my guess, as I was a bit involved at the corner to Xiaomi HPC, and I do not know whether the colleague from Xiaomi is still in the audience, but at least the first discussion was, give me what you have. And there was not a question, how could you do it better? Just take what you have, improve it. And I think it comes out of this mentality. There was something there which could be improved. This is why it started with AutoSAR Adaptive.
Yeah, and what I can tell from, came back into AutoSAR after being 15 years out of it. When I traveled here in China in the last several months, I saw it everywhere. I was positive. Basically, I saw maybe one or two OEMs not using it. And so I think it has proven. And even those I saw, without naming the company, those who put it also in open source, what they put in open source was AutoSAR. Yeah, so they just took the specifications because it was there and implemented it. So, but okay. Anyone else from the want to comment? Okay.
I think one of the most important features of adaptive is that you could ensure the compatibility with classic, and you could always keep the development up to date to the release using the shared resources from AutoSAR. And the same is for adaptive always. And if you are using adaptive, and then you could save your development effort always, I think.
Okay, so I hope this answers the question. We do not know who submitted it, but okay. So the next question was how to ensure the accuracy of the AutoSAR agent. Are there any functions to check the accuracy?
I assume that was a question dedicated to a certain presentation that was held in a technical session, so I'm don't think we can answer that here, to be honest.
Okay, then the only attempt for this question is maybe the person who submitted this question is still in the room and could clarify, was this really to the PL and SCs, or was this to a specific presentation? Is the person still here and could maybe add some information on top? If not,
let me answer the general. I try to give a general answer. Yeah. So I think this goes a little bit in the AI direction, and from my perspective, we should give a little trust in the AI, because for sure not everything is perfect, and there will be no. It's not like that. There will be no issue in the end. Of the outcome, but also what people are doing is not perfect. There are also issues inside of it. So with AI, you are faster, you get faster outcome. For sure, it's not 100%, but same is if the people are doing the coding.
okay, thank you, Ralph. Good, then next question was, based on the 2 days of experience at this conference, I would like to raise a question. Currently, various manufacturers and organizations are presenting their own interpretations of the open AUTOSAR architecture, much like 100 schools of thought contending. But should the AUTOSAR organization provide a direction, or is planning one, given the significant impact that vibe coding is having on software developers? How can we better adopt to this development and propose or refine? Anybody wants to take this one?
Yeah, so if you talk about different schools provided by different vendors, I think this is definitely the case. So you have different stack vendors providing their interpretation of the AUTOSAR architecture. And even you have in China some OEMs who really implement the basic software on themselves. And it's still fascinating how well this works together. So AUTOSAR provides some framework that makes it even possible to have working solutions, even if they're interpreted by different companies. So this was the legacy, the past of AUTOSAR, what we did it. Now with the CAPI, I think it's one attempt to provide a reference. Currently, of course, nobody has a glass ball. We don't know how it will evolve. But this is a chance, at least for the AUTOSAR community, to come up with a reference implementation. And market will show if this reference implementation is attractive, and what role the existing, let's say, company specific interpretations bring. Regarding vibe coding, I think it's different topics, and everybody is sure that AI has a gigantic impact on how we are developing software. It already has today, and it will be getting only bigger. Also at AUTOSAR, we think, how can we use these tools maybe to develop AUTOSAR software faster on our own as an organization. But these are very early thoughts, and of course, still, even if you use tools like AI coding agents, it's not done with a one-time shot. You need to maintain it. You need to fix bugs, and so on. But of course, this is also a thought that we had, and I think also one of your ideas.
Yes, I agree. Okay, maybe you take.
Maybe I can
Okay.
just confirm again that one of the main goals of the CAPI project is exactly to avoid these various interpretations of the specifications. And this finally will really improve the standard, because then we are sure that we have one implementation, one interpretation for the specifications. Yeah.
And one additional comment. So you have seen today also a presentation of a colleague of mine about the neue Klasse and all the issues. And although maybe companies are interpreting the standard a little bit differently and have some different dialect like Austria or Germany or so, at the end of the day, they talk to each other. So we are using in series stacks from different suppliers. and they all, at the end of the day, work together, even if maybe the tool chains or the problems are differently, but finally, each stack works in series as requested.
Okay. So then the next question is, RxML indeed a pain point for many AUTOSAR users? The AUTOSAR organization provides the RTOP solution, yet there are very limited documents and usage examples available. Are there any plans to promote this library and release relevant guidance in the future?
So the ARXML discussion is maybe as old as AUTOSAR, I don't know. We recently had an investigation about what would happen if we exchanged ARXML by JSON. Would that really help? And the solution was it gets worse, actually, because the complexity doesn't lie in the ARXML itself, but in the model behind. So we have a model which includes all the configuration parameters, etc., and there is the complexity. So if you just change the underlying serialization format, this doesn't reduce the complexity. The ARXML file has never been intended to be used by humans. It's an exchange format. But in all those AI discussions now, we also learned that it's a format that's hard to use, that's hard to use by AI agents. I saw 2 presentations at least today on how to potentially attack this issue. And that's the one side. So at the moment, there are no discussions about changing ARXML to something else. But we're aware of the issues with ARXML, and these need to be tackled. And well, this would also be a call out to the community here to engage yourself in the standardization. So you're all AUTOSAR partners, and start the discussion with us to how to solve this. So there are no usage examples in that sense available from AUTOSAR, as the real life examples are mainly with the OEMs and tier ones. The problem is if you start to build up examples, they're usually pretty simple. And as long as they're pretty simple, ARXML is even quite fine. The problems come in with the size of the ARXML files, with the sheer mass of signals, of configuration parameters, etc. So no plans to promote examples, but we are discussing on how to tackle the issues that are there with ARXML and how to make AUTOSAR better suited for today's development workflows.
Anyone wants to add something? Oh, you can take mine.
So I'm not sure. The second part of the question, I think it's more related to how to use RTOP, because RTOP was merged recently in AUTOSAR, and we had the first release officially in AUTOSAR. We had some issues to integrate in the IT infrastructure, and I think there will be further documentations and also examples provided. I'm not sure whether here is referring to the AXIMA example, but more, I think probably more about RTOP example here. So it's coming, I think, upcoming.
Okay. Maybe Joachim also mentioned, it's all about contribution. So if something is missing in RTOP, we have the RTOP user group where you can subscribe and also be active here, for example, to work out some documents, best practice, things like that. So dedicated, just come to us to admin@autosar.org and request that you want to be partner, or if you are already partner, then just ask that you want to be part of the RTOP user group. And then, of course, you can also be active here, and then we can work together to provide in the requested documents.
Okay, so then next question is about the adoption of AUTOSAR AP. Last year, one Japanese professor asked me whether new Chinese OEMs are using AUTOSAR. He doubted if Chinese OEMs found a way to avoid AUTOSAR in AIDV area. But I feel the future flourish of AUTOSAR, especially AUTOSAR AP, will be from China, according to what I see this time. Do you agree that the center of AUTOSAR will gradually move from Germany to China in long term? Okay, so who wants to take this?
I can start and probably then you add. So my first thought is we were on Monday in Chongqing and we saw the tremendous work of the China Hub. Thank you for this. I think excellent work there the China Hub does for the global standardization, and they are already contributing to it. And I think what we have to find is how we do it commonly in future. So I see this trend. China plays an important role. It's well organized already today, how to contribute, and I think we have to streamline this and even grow further.
And it's also, I think, based on the sheer volume. I mean, if you look at 90 million cars produced and 30 million of them in China, I mean, this speaks for itself. I mean, you are the largest producer of cars as a country. So I think this also is representative. It's also actually the reason we are here, and we are open for all and across boundaries to work together. So that's what I see.
So looking to the AUTOSAR partnership, if we look to the growth the past years, we have the biggest growth in Asia and even the biggest in China. And we have today most of the partners of AUTOSAR in China. And I think this underlines again that this shift to Germany, China, and so on, has already taken place.
Probably we have a Chinese core partner in the meantime.
Exactly.
I hope everybody has recognized it.
It's on. Now you switch it off.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think also as a international standardization organization, so it's open to all the partners, especially Chinese partners. Huawei is as a good example because we joined AUTOSAR since 2019, and then we gradually to put our efforts to the community, and then well recognize our input, then become the core partner this year. I hope all the Chinese partner could give more effort to AUTOSAR, and then we can see more input to the industry and to make AUTOSAR still the solution for automotive. Thank you.
I really want to add something. I don't know why AUTOSAR is a German or has to move from German. It's international, like my colleague said. And in the past, maybe German plays an important role due to the OEMs, what we have there. But in the past, also a lot of standardization concepts was coming from the US. So it's not a German thing. It was always an international thing. We still have also core partners and partners from Japan, like Toyota, which plays also an important role. AUTOSAR is not a Chinese thing or a German thing. It's an international standardization, and we should keep that in mind.
I agree. So then the next one, the flexible coding methods now emerging are challenging the robust yet cumbersome AUTOSAR architecture. Everyone has their own set of development and testing process that go beyond just coding itself. I suspect what my two colleagues just mentioned were really getting at. We don't just want to know the problems and solution, we want a direction and paradigm. So does the official organization have any ongoing plans to address this? But I don't get the question.
Yeah, I can try to interpret this point. So what we see, of course, also when we look at how our customers want to work, so they want to go away from this classic setup of tooling, where you have GUIs and where you can click together solutions, but you have to do a lot of clicks, even if it's very convenient. Still a lot of handwork, and go to more concepts that are fitting in this CI/CD pipeline based tool landscapes. and also to tools which, of course, are accessible to AI agent support. So these are currently things that are happening mostly in the commercial providers of AUTOSAR stacks. And also these commercial providers think about improvements to the AUTOSAR tool formats. So not to use RXML for example, configuration, and to use a format which is better suited, for example, for Git-based workflows. Currently, we have a little bit this dilemma that those innovations are happening in the commercial area, but they are not flowing back yet in the standard for many different reasons. Could be as simple as, okay, it's maybe intellectual property. Maybe it's just not that it's ripe for standardization because we're just trying out things, bring it into the market, and it's still too early to standardize them. So I think there is work going on, and AUTOSAR is quite aware, or I would say the AUTOSAR partners are quite aware that the world is changing, that development processes are changing, that the wanted way of working is changing. But there's a certain lag of until this flows back in the standard. Again, CAPI could be a way to increase the speed of this learning cycle. But yeah, we need to see if this happens.
Okay, thank you. So next question was, or is, Tesla and Rivian have proven you can ship vehicles without AUTOSAR. And Chinese OEMs are shipping on 18-month cycles without waiting for standards consensus. Meanwhile, AUTOSAR answer is CAPI, which hasn't even sorted out its relationship with S-Core. If the consortium pace of consensus is structurally slower than your competitor's pace of shipping, when you realistically expect CAPI in the production vehicle. And in the meantime, what reason does a new generation of developers have to, and you need to scroll up. I have to do, okay, I assume. I can take this actually myself because I don't know who submitted this question, but maybe you haven't seen, but S-Core and AUTOSAR, we have reached an intention to work together. We are ready. We have even the press release ready. At the moment is actually the S-Core consortium who has not reached a consensus how fast they do it, but we have reached the consensus to work with them. And they also expressed the on stage with me that they will work with us. And also, if you look under the hood, there is not a single S-Core member, which is not also an AUTOSAR member. And at the moment, we are a global standard AUTOSAR, and S-Core has at the moment 30 members. We have 300, so it doesn't make sense to build a new consortium. So we want to work with them, and also. If you looked at the picture which I shared, it shows that these two pieces fit quite nicely together. And even I heard from the S-Core team, if we would have gone faster to open source, there would not be an S-Core. Yeah? And I think this was one of the major limitations. Initially, this was difficult, but now for the intermediary, we solved it with CAPI because we will handle the CAPI project like an open source project, and it's available to the same amount of people, same companies, and we are working on seeing if we can even address the open source part. But at the moment, at the end, it doesn't count if it is what it is. It counts that it is available to all companies and that we can all work with it. And again, the S-Core, it's not them and us, it's us together. So also here we see collaboration. And maybe somebody wants to add something.
So yes, of course you can ship vehicles with AUTOSAR. Let's face it. But first of all, Tesla does have AUTOSAR in their cars. Maybe they don't know it, but if you ask their suppliers, there will be AUTOSAR ECUs in there. Nevertheless, we are AUTOSAR here. Our answer is CAPI. That's right. And if we're talking about speed, we have announced CAPI for the first time pretty much a year ago at the AUTOSAR AOC in Europe. And we now have and announced a full stack available on GitHub. So I think that's pretty fast. Of course, there was a big help from Microsoft there. Nevertheless, this is the starting point of copy, and we'll try to go in fast pace to make this production ready. So that's the first thing about speed. And I'd like to emphasize the sentence that has been said over several talks today. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And yes, of course, alone you can be faster, but in the long run, the standardization will help you. Well, I can say something about the release cadence. I mean, the copy release cadence is currently planned to be in a quarter releases, so faster than the specification releases, of course. And let's face it, if you have a production ongoing for a car or a development for production, then you won't wait for an AUTOSAR release to be ready to have a certain feature in there. But you will solve it somehow, and you will then feed in the demands into the AUTOSAR standardization, and it can follow that development. I mean, that's how it has always been.
Maybe I'm also asking, is there some follow-up on this question specifically from the audience? Not okay, then I assume it's answered. Next one is configuration problem, definitely an important issue that needs to be solved, preferably in the near future. I think we just had a wonderful talk from Thomas, and we also discussed it. This should be addressed, and I think there's a general agreement. But anybody wants to add something on top? Yes. Okay.
No, you can just say yes to it.
Okay, yes, okay, yes. Okay.
So there are several speeches during the AOC's time, XCS code, like integration as code and also configuration as code, you taking the advantage of AI. So AI is really running very fast development of AI. Let's give some time to see whether this could also as a tooling to help reduce the complexity of configuration. Maybe that would be the future.
I agree. I mean, we saw so many already here at the show of solutions, actually on the booth here on stage, and also when I saw different vendors, I saw many solutions. So this is a big, and I think almost like a low-hanging fruit these days to apply it for this. Okay. So next one, our core pay point with the current AUTOSAR development is the low multi-team collaboration efficiency. Application development and low-level basic BSW updates are managed by two independent teams. When new signals are required after body domain application updates, we can only generate software packages for verification after the BSW team finishes configuration updates. As we have multiple application functional domain, this usually results in a 1 week waiting. Are there any efficient solution? I think one solution is what I see in many companies is more cross-domain collaboration and not so many silos, but this is my piece because I typically advise companies how to change the development culture, but I leave this to the technical experts in addition.
Yeah, again, there's also this point that we see in practice that they say that iteration cycles are not as fast as possible. And of course, I agree also to what you said, that part of the problem can be organizational. So if you have some responsibility there and some responsibility there until everybody, let's say, releases their part and moves on and the package is passed on to the next team, this can be, of course, costing time. Another part of the answer is, of course, that very simple things like Git friendliness of formats. So AUTOSAR XML is not very known as being very Git friendly when you work with it. So in Git workflows, it's not optimal. And there are also already companies developing workflows or workarounds to this to better support faster workflows, to divide bigger models into smaller chunks, which are then more faster updatable. Again, what I said previously, currently this is developed in the industry at the partners, but it's currently not flowing back to AUTOSAR. And this is, of course, required. So AUTOSAR is only what the partners are bringing into the standard. Currently, this flow back from the industry is not happening. Yeah, we can see maybe it takes just a little bit more time. I think solutions are out there, but not yet available as a standard.
Maybe let me add you another thought to this. As we try to solve very often topics of cooperation by technical means. And I have seen, as I've been involved in such topics several times, 80% of the problems you just can solve if people talk to each other. And then they find fastly, or in a very fast way, a solution. So don't always think on solving everything technically, but we shouldn't forget that people need to talk. It's just see the problem out of another perspective. And this helps at least to release some of the pain from my experience.
What I was thinking also, because we were at this hub meeting in Chongqing earlier this week, and I think this was a very good format, and maybe we can adopt this on a more global scale, like some kind of a voting scheme for these ideas, because at the moment these items, some of them are seen, others are not seen in the core partners or steering committee. So there should be some voting, meaning at the end we need a ranking of the wish list. And this makes also our life easier and also your life easier, because if we all see this is the voted list, and then you can also add your vote. So this is at the end like almost like a company which has to choose which features to implement. Yeah, and if they don't have the right priority, then I think it leads to frustration. And I think this should be really be done. And I will try to push you guys to really think better on the voting. Yeah.
And nonetheless, if it's still a technical thing, which hinders you, blocks you to develop faster, so then we are always willing to learn and listen to your ideas, also the ideas and input from the AUTOSAR partners. So if you have some solutions to improve AUTOSAR, please just contribute, and of course we will listen to you and try to, if you have great ideas how to solve these shortcomings, please feel free to join us, maybe via the Chinese user group also, if this helps, and then we will work on it.
Yeah, so then there's two ends. One is the voting, and the other is certainly then the contribution. I mentioned it also in a few earlier talks when I came in and asked, so how many FTEs are actually working in AUTOSAR? And the number is actually not representing the on paper commitment from these companies. So I think there should be more people. And I think with CAPI and the other initiatives now that we have not only the specification, also code, this enables really collaboration. And I think this is what we should do more. I had it also in my slide deck yesterday morning, that we need to really now drive this community to really work together and really contribute and not just observe. Okay, next question was, when a new supplier or partner joins our ecosystem, how long does it actually take them to become productive? And where does the knowledge that determines that timeline actually lives? The why behind tens of thousands of configuration parameter isn't the specification. It is in the tools or in the heads of the handful of senior engineers approaching retirement. And if it's the later, what's your plan for capturing it?
I'll try maybe. So that is a pain point. We must be fair here. So yes, some of the arguments for why things have been specified the way they are in the heads of some senior AUTOSAR experts in the working groups, and they're not yet at retirement, but that's foreseeable. And this is an issue that we're having. We're currently working on solutions for, at least for new things coming in, to improve documentation for use cases, for reasonings, potentially also for decision taking. So this is something for the future. Of course, all those decisions documenting for the already available 40,000 pages of spec might be impossible. But also there are some ideas in the heads how to solve this with, for example, initial sets of parameter settings, so default values where you can say, okay, for a non-expert, I'll just start with this, and if I take those default values, I will have a running ECU and only need to configure a few parameters, and only if I want to do some special stuff, I need to configure the others. So there are some ideas in that direction, and we're aware of the problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is one question here. How long does it actually take them to become productive? So the result is somehow very different. I really have some coach companies, they become very active and very productive, becoming dog owners in 2 months. So depending on how you are really acting in the working groups and also talking to the experts, and also we see the rising of contribution from Chinese partners. So I think in China Hub you have heard of the working group bridge. So this is a joint working group trying to really bridge the Chinese experts into the organization. Do not be afraid of the actually the barrier here. They will help you out. They will be mentor help you out to work in the working group and help you to ramp up. So please join the working group mentor and asking for their advices if you want to contribute. So together we could make it, I think.
As I understood the question differently in the first place. So yes, and even so for the China Hub, they really support the Chinese companies a lot, and thanks for that. But also for all the other partners, there are people in AutoSAR knowing the processes very well and being able to support. So you have the support functions that run the processes, and that's their job to support you guys in your work so that you can really focus on the technical content.
And maybe one additional comment. We are aware about it that the entry of being productive in AutoSAR is at the beginning a little bit difficult, and sometimes it's also that people are a little bit shy asking things in the working group, but we are all nice people, so you don't need to be shy. Nonetheless, what we have done recently is a pilot to really try it out to introduce the so-called mentor role, where we have a very good experience that in this mentor role, this is really a dedicated session where newcomers can ask everything they like without thinking that they are blamed or something like that. And we made a really good experience with that. So maybe we can roll it out much broader to also other working groups to make then the ramp up phase quite small.
Okay, so time is short, so let's quickly maybe last two, and only one short answer also. Who maintains CAPI as a mass production, OEMs itself, or some software company? Who wants to quickly answer this?
Whoever wants to. Well, we're providing a software stack, and that's not a product yet. If you want to make a product out of it, your company can take it, make a product of it. If an OEM wants to do that by themselves, they can do it. If they want to have service companies, other vendors, suppliers who want to do it for them, then they can do that as well. So that's the business model of every company who wants to.
From answer from OEM, yeah, we don't plan to do it by ourselves. So we still need a company as a partner here, tier ones, tier twos as partner. So for us, CAPI is really to close that gap, what we have in the standardization, to make standardization faster. Yeah, but we still need all the software vendors as a supplier here who helps us to bringing that in the newest car to life.
it's like an open source project. Everybody will contribute who is using it, finds an issue, adds to it. So then how many AUTOSAR releases coexist inside a single new BMW today? And I think I stop right there because maybe you can quickly answer this question.
So AUTOSAR releases, different AUTOSAR releases. Well, reality shows that the existing AUTOSAR stacks on the markets are already a mixture between different releases. So this is here that they are. Some blame that AUTOSAR is slow, but we are quite fast in introducing new features. And the software developers have some issues to be to compete with that and to be also that fast to implement each feature. So what is done at the end of the day that depending on the OEM's request, there are some priorities which functionality is implemented first and which later. So at the end of the day, there's a wide mixture of different AUTOSAR releases already in the car, and also this works together, which is great.
Maybe a quick answer. We do one ECU for this Neue Klasse BMW, and we have 4 different AUTOSAR versions in one ECU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is not an issue. The good thing is it works together like also different stacks from different software suppliers.
So we have 2 more questions. I think we are a little bit over time, but I will take them. So love to hear the most impressive from this event in one word. Who wants to take it? Yeah, for me, actually, it's impact. I mean, you guys make an impact. I love it here. So
Collaboration.
maybe you do one.
Motivation.
International.
Collaborate.
Well, that was mine. I am with collaboration too.
Collaboration. Contribution.
Global.
Speed.
China speed.
That's 2 words.
Yeah.
As we said, China.
So I
Collaboration.
Okay, cool. And then the next time AOC in Shanghai, will you consider open door to more industrial participations from them to learn about what AUTOSAR can do globally? I'm not sure who the industrial participants are, but in general, we are open for everyone. I mean, there's no exclusion of anyone to come here. And so I think, and we just said it, I mean, collaboration, actually, we heard it multiple times. So this thing is open. So I think it's a good end. Oh, you want to add?
Yeah, the event is called Open Conference, and therefore we are open, of course. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe there's one question from the audience. Let's try it. Or you submitted everything. Obviously, everybody submitted. So great. So great for your participation. It was a pleasure to be here. And yeah, so thank you very much. So we have 2 slides more. Huh? Should I advance? Okay, then, yeah. The last announcement, the 18th AUTOSAR Open Conference is planned in Germany, so certainly you're all welcome to come. I mean, and this is certainly also a global event, so we hope to get a lot of global participation. And it's actually already also a date is there, save the date. It's actually, no, it's a month. It's in June 2027 because we are looking at different locations at the moment in Germany. Yeah, see you all there. Thanks for coming. Have safe trips home. It was wonderful. I probably gained 1 kilogram from the wonderful food. And also I loved the discussion. I loved the energy. And I think was great pleasure for the exchange. And also thank you to all people who contributed. So I want to especially recognize, and maybe you should wave your hand, all the people who organized. So Ray, Mona, Daria, and all the people. Yeah. So they did a great job in organizing this event. the people on the cameras and people with the microphones and the headsets and behind the screens. So thank you everybody for making this a wonderful event. Thank you. Bye.